So I just purchased my first house and it's huge. It has 2 floors and that's a positive, but the negative is the Wi-Fi is not strong enough. I have one router right now and it's in the middle of the house on the first floor, but it doesn't reach one end of the house and it doesn't reach the second floor, or it's very weak. So on today's video, I'm going to show you if my router or my existing router right now can handle adding extenders. If once we verify that, we're going to check on Amazon which router we're going to get, and I'm going to show you what type of cabling and configuration you need to do in order for you to be successful. So let's get started. This is my existing router. It's an Asus ATX1000 or 3000. It's a powerful Wi-Fi 6 router, and even though it has good signals, it's not enough to power the house. In here, I also have a switch. I have some existing cabling. We're going to be able to reuse one of these cables for the living room section. And let's see what the next step is. So one important thing you got to keep in mind is you got to match the cabling to what your internet service provider is able to give you. So in my example, I have this fiber modem right here, which does 1 gig. This router also can do 1 gig, and my switch also can do 1 gig. But you need to make sure you have your cabling can handle that. So you would need at least Cat6 cabling to be able to withstand those speeds. So this cable here is pre-existing in this house, and it goes to my living room. So I'll be connecting this end on the switch here. Let me see. Living room. So I'm connecting it to my switch, and that switch has another cable that goes to my router right here, and that router gets the internet from that yellow cable that comes from the internet service provider. So Ethernet cable from the modem to my router. From my router, I extend it to that switch, and from that switch, I'm able to extend it to computers. And I'm going to use one of those ports for the new extender that I add. So now that I connected this end, on the other end, I'll have to add the extender. So I just checked the actual model of my routers, the Asus Ax1800s. So if you're in my shoes, log into your current Wi-Fi admin section, and on mine, there's a section called AI Mesh, and that allows me to add another router and extender. So now that I've verified that I can do that, I'm gonna shop for our extender. So I'm on Amazon.com, Asus Wi-Fi extender. So right away, the overall pick is this Asus Ax1800s. So what's nice about this one is it supports Wi-Fi 6 and it's extendable. You don't need a subscription or any of that. So this should, in theory, work with my current router. I'm gonna stick with the Ax1800 because of the price and because it does Wi-Fi 6. Okay guys, the extender is here. Let's unbox it. Alright, so here's the extender. I actually purchased 2 of these. One of them is going to go in this section here. I already have a Cat6 cable to this section right there. So I'm going to put one around here. It's not here yet. So on today's video, I'm only going to show the one downstairs, but I should be able to just plug and play it and add it, no problem. So right now, let's head downstairs and let's install the main one. So this is the cable that goes to the network closet that I was showing you before. And what we need to do is, since this is not the main router, we don't want to connect it to this blue one, which would be for the internet. We want to join the existing network. So we're gonna try LAN 1 here, and we're gonna power it up. So LAN 1, and we're gonna power it up. And let's power on. So let me go to the network closet and see what's going on the other end. So this is the other end, and this is port number 11, and it's lighting up. So we're good to go. Let's go back to the computer and log into the master router. And let's check if it detected it. All right, so I'm gonna log into the master router. So we're gonna click on Add AI Mesh Node, and it's searching for available nodes to join AI mesh system. And bingo, look at this, it's alive. Detected it. It's asking me if I want to add this AI mesh mode to the mesh system. Let's hit connect. All right guys, so it finished adding the extender. It says successfully added the extender to your AI mesh system. It's gonna take a while to show up as connected in the router list. All right guys, so we're back downstairs next to the extender, and I'm gonna log in. It's going past 100, so we're definitely gig capable. So it's 343. All right, so I ran into a hiccup. The cable that's pre-existing, it's Cat6, but I can only get 100 mbps, so I don't want to keep it that way. I want to fix it. So I'm going to start by changing the tips, the RJ45 tips. So I'm going to be using these tools to cut and crimp them and put new heads, because I think it might have a different standard than the traditional 568B. I think it might be using a different standard, so I'm going to switch it and put new heads and see if that fixes it. I don't want to run new cable because I have cable, but I would need to go on my crawl space. And weirdly today, April 5th, we had an earthquake in New Jersey, 4.8. So the whole house was shaking earlier. And just a few minutes ago, there was like another aftershock. So I kind of don't want to be in the crawl space if I don't have to. So hopefully changing the tips will do the trick. So let's get rid of this gunky one. I like to cut it a little longer than needed. I'm following the T568B wiring version, and that's white, orange, orange, white, green, blue, green, white, brown, brown. And that's with you inserting the tip this way, because if you do it this way, it will be backwards. So now once I have that lined up, I twist it left and right to try to make it as straight as possible. Then I measure this little white line going across, so it hits the white shield of the cable. So I want to cut around here again. And let's try putting it in. So you see that That white vertical line is going to compress into the white shield of cable. So I take my crimper tool, put some pressure, and squeeze down. Now we should be good to go. All right, guys, so I just finished changing the tips of the Ethernet cables on both ends. So now I'm gonna grab my tools over here. So I got this cable tester from Klein Tools. I'll put the link in the description if you're interested in it. It's called a Scout Pro 3. Basically, you want to detach this part here, connect one end of the cable we're testing here, and then we connect the other end here. So I'm going to turn it on. It's open. Let's take this little section here. So just connect it here. Grab this tip. It's plugged in. Heard the click. Just leave it there. Let's grab this other end. Grab the other end. Let's connect it to the other side. All right, so we're at the other end. We're gonna connect on the top of the tool. You just plug in the RJ45 and you hit the LAN button right here. It looks like a bunch of computers. Press it once and we have a pass, and you can see all the numbers match. It means all the cables are matching. They're using the same standard. So now let's try again and try it with the router, see if it goes up to 1 gig. If not, I'm screwed and I have to go in the crawl space and put new cabling. So I'm hoping, praying that it works. And again, before I made a mistake, I said to put it on the LAN, but Asus wants you to put it on the blue port, which would be for internet, even though it's not connecting to the internet. Of course, I'm connecting it backwards. All right, guys, so I have the 1 gig connection after changing the tips. We're showing 1 gig. Under AI mesh system settings, I thought enabling Ethernet backhaul mode would benefit, but it doesn't. So what does help is under management. So click on your extender, then click on management, and where it says backhaul connection priority, that you want to enable 1 gig WAN first. When I go to clients, this last desktop one is this laptop. So before, when I was doing when I had the error with the cable 100 meg line, it was only doing 92 down, 92 up. So now I'm gonna run the test again. I run the test again and it should go above 100, which means we're in 1 gig. Bingo, over 500, and this is on this laptop. I'm on that Wi-Fi, and the new Wi-Fi with the extender, and we are able to see that we're part of the clients here. This one right here at the end. So success. All right, guys, so I'm all set. I was able to successfully put the extender. I ran into some issues where initially I was connecting the connection to my second switch and I had to connect it directly to the main router. Then the connection I was getting was 100 megs, which was too slow, so I had to cut off the tips, the RJ45 tips. Once I switched them both, I was able to grab 1 gig. Thank God, because I did not want to go in the crawl space to run new lines. So I just want to quickly review a few of the things that we went over today. So the first thing you need to do is check your existing router to see if it supports adding extenders, because not all of them do. And if not, you have to buy a system that will support the mesh system, so you can probably directly buy a device that brings three main router and two extenders possibly. If your existing router does support it, make sure you research and the extenders that you buy are supported by your main router. So you typically want to stick with the same brand if possible. Like we saw in the video, if you try to install an extender, it's going to allow you to not have to wire it up with Ethernet cable, so it'll grab the existing Wi-Fi signal and just try to push that out. But I don't like that. I wanted to make sure I wired directly from the main router. That way I have a strong 1 gig connection. And another thing you want to check is the manual, because initially I thought the extender would go under the LAN port, but it actually goes under the WAN port. To me, it kind of doesn't make sense since there's only one WAN port going to the internet on the main router. But that's the way the manufacturer wants it, so make sure to read your specific manual. And finally, what you want to do is configure everything in your main router settings. Usually they're very smart with the configuration, so it'll auto detect most of the stuff. But even if you run into some hiccups, it's okay. Just go back to my video and you'll probably run into similar issues like I did. The goal of today's video was for me to capture everything live and raw, because a lot of times when you see all these guys, everything runs perfect and smoothly, and I just wanted to capture raw of some of the issues that you run to. And of course I ran into plenty of issues today, so I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you out. And don't be afraid to subscribe to our channel for more tech content, and until next time, Ultra Tech out.